Legion, it's Hadrian. Thank you for being here. Let's play some more Surviving Mars in our Shadow of Elysium series. So, a couple of things as we start off this second episode of the series. We have to do a couple of things, as a matter of fact. We've got to make sure that we have decided on our location for our first dome, as I mentioned at the end of the last one. And also, I would like to expand my concrete production beyond this tiny little deposit that is, right in front of our rockets, over to this deposit, which is the one that I was eyeing with enchantment, if I can say that, in the last episode. But we also need to do one little thing as we start off here, which is that we need to be able to refuel our rockets. And one of the main reasons we need to be able to do that, I regret nothing. I made the decisions I would have made had I been aware of this, but somehow, until this moment, until the beginning of this recording session, I didn't realize that I only have 2 rockets. I don't have any more. I have the 2. And they're both on the surface at the moment. Again, I'm not joking. I regret nothing. I did exactly as I would have done, because we need to have this second rocket. So I would have ordered it right away. It doesn't change anything, but I didn't know that. So we have to refuel the one. Well, we have to refuel both of them and get them back up, but one of them has to get back before the other. So, we just need a rocket on Earth so that we can get more stuff. And the reason for that is that probably we're going to need at least 1 drone hub, maybe even 2. So when we look at possible locations for where Dome 1's going to be, we could have a dome here, but we still need to send a rocket back in order for people to freaking land on Mars. But there's 2 metal deposits, one of which is much closer to my rare metals deposit. Now that's deep down, and it's going to take a while to be able to get to that technology-wise, but this deposit here is 560 metals of a very high grade, whereas this one is 532 of a high grade. So I kind of want to just move my colony in this direction already, now that we know that that deposit is there. I think that's what we're going to do. So let me queue up a few more scans, and we're going to let the simulation run on speed 3 while we get the fuel refinery, which is a prefab, so it's going to go right up. There we go. No resources required. It's already constructed, technically. And let's see if there's anything else. These factories, I need colonists in order to operate. Already got the Vaporator running now. We could go ahead and connect. Yeah, we could start looking into a more consistent water supply. That's tempting a little bit. Let's see. What's the range on the drone hub? Yeah, there's no point at the moment because the drones are not in range. We could move the RC rover to, like, right here. Hang on. That might be a temporary solution. Or it might not be. No, that would work. I could put some depots right there, and they would be able to get all the resources they needed, as long as these 4 drones. But we would eventually need drone hubs to... a drone hub here as well to maintain this water production, and I'm not sure I'm a fan of that. I might want to just wait until I'm over here. We'll eventually get water from this, but I want drone hubs to move me in this direction. So it would be wasteful to expand towards this now, because I need to get this way. And drone hubs are essentially how you lay out where you can build and maintain a base in Surviving Mars. So we're going to have to wait on that. But it's good to know we have that possibility. Let's bring the... what's it called? The RC rover back? Yep. And we also could probably expand our power production at some point soon. We might not need to right now. But as soon as we start seriously thinking about where that dome's going to go, which we could place it, but it's not going to get touched for a while. Probably use, that as our shell, and it'll be somewhere around here. I don't necessarily want it, again, near the concrete. I definitely don't want it on cold ground. That's going to be enough of an issue. Let's keep it paused for a moment. That's going to be enough of an issue when we have actual cold snap come in. I don't want to have to put colonists willingly on that terrain. I also would like to think in terms of where I could have other domes around it. So we would definitely want it to be... Yeah, see, it wouldn't be able to work both the metals and... might be able... No, it's too far. I wouldn't be able to have... That's just a little bit too far. Well, I'd probably start with the metals then, and then expand so that I have another dome in this direction, which is fine. So I think what I will probably do is we'll put our first dome... Let's see. I love the new max zoom out distance, by the way. It's nice. It's still a little bit too close for given the distance from my current colony. But let's see, we need to be as close as possible. All right, I think I like this. Because eventually I can have another dome right up here if I were to slide it this direction, and we can, have their doors right next to each other. We can also do passageways, but it's nice for colonists to be able to just go dome to dome in the old-fashioned style if we can manage that. So, let's see. Yeah, I know you're too far from a working drone, Commander. I'm just placing you for funsies. Relax. I think right there. Yeah, let's go there. There we go. Now again, it's going to be meaningless for a while. That's just a placeholder, but we know that that's what we're working toward. Now we're going to let simulation run, and we're going to get some rocket fuel. Again, regret nothing. Would have done nothing different, but didn't know. So, what would be nice to have is the... Aha! We do have it! Decommission protocol unlocked advanced Martian engines. Let's go ahead and research that. We're currently making 600 research per sol. I could outsource some more research again to make this happen a little sooner. There, I outsourced twice. Let's do that. And that way, it'll only take 40 fuel to get these things off the ground, which is kind of important. Let's make that happen as fast as we can. Also, what's going on with power? Really? Oh, it's just because power's off for the day. That's why. I was like, there's no way that we're running on a deficit in power, but we're not. Beautiful game, this. It's one of my favorite things about the original series and just playing the game in general is, especially when you do this, go down to normal speed and just take in the view, especially when you go to photo mode. Because you can mess with so much. I'll do more of this later, but back up to speed 3 for now. Absolutely beautiful game. Fun to watch. Fun to play, but also fun to watch. Especially when you have a nice Martian sunrise like that. Alright, so solar panels are about to come up, and that deficit is gone. There we go. Gaining power again. And we're making our way towards advanced Martian engines. So my first dome, talk about a few planning related things while we're waiting for this fuel and this research to kick in. First dome is going to contain, hopefully, apartments so that we can have more people living there. All right, Sector J8's been scanned. Found an additional, oh wow. Ooh, hang on. Did my plan just change? My plan might have just changed. Let's scan that sector next. If there are heavy metals up there by sheer chance, my plan might have just changed. It'll be easier to get a drone hub up there, but we still have to wait. So I'm going to keep the simulation on speed 3. And back to what I was saying, regardless of whether we have the dome here or might end up putting it in this corner, it'd be kind of cool to have a dome in this little spot here. This is just from a terrain perspective, that'd be a lot of fun. A larger dome maybe there would be really nice. So in this first dome, we're going to hopefully have apartments for people to live in, so there's extra living space, which would be quite nice. But then we'll probably go ahead and do a nursery, a playground, and a school in the first dome, if not in the second. And then a research lab, of course. And we will hopefully have a farm. Right now, I don't think we have the option, do we? No, we don't. So we don't have the option of actually building a farm. We have the hydroponics farms, so we'll probably have 3 of those if we haven't unlocked a farm. And that will be used, they'll be used to generate some wheatgrass, just to all, as often as possible with the founder colonists, generate as many 2-point or failed 2-point food projects as we can manage in a short period of time, because that's how wheatgrass works. You just basically throw all the resources of 3 different hydroponics farms at producing the cheapest, quickest crop, and it fails a lot, but at least that way you might have a slight food buildup, especially while you only have 10 colonists, your founders, and you don't have to worry too much about producing larger yields or more consistent yields yet. All right, so you can tell these sensor towers are definitely working for our current scan. That's going to be done in, what did that percentage say? It's at 70% now. I'm really hoping to find something worthwhile up here. One thing we can be doing in the meantime, is we can gather some more of the metal that's in the area. One of the things when you're new to surviving Mars that you need to stay on top of is making sure, especially when you're playing in areas that can be more challenging, you want to make sure that you're keeping your RC transport busy. This thing is several drones in one, and using it as such is to your benefit. Yeah, this is... If we find... Oh, no resources in that sector. Okay, well, maybe this scan or this one will come up with something. Got them all queued up. So I'm hopeful. It'd be cool to have a dome here, too. I love the terrain of this area. And of course, we'll eventually have stuff up here on the high ridge. There's an L-shaped ridge. Didn't talk about it, but we looked at it in the last episode. But yeah, it's always good just to keep an eye on the RC transport and make sure that they are gathering all the resources that they can be. Which reminds me, I need to get those polymers. They're right here. Right? Yep, polymer deposit. Alright, so I'm going to do that right now. Let's gather those and bring them back there. Advanced Martian Engines has been unlocked. Good. Autonomous Sensors is next. And it looks like we've gained the ability to build fuel and polymer refineries without having to order prefabs. We also have the ability now to build drone hubs, so we wouldn't have to actually bring another rocket down. That might be my next order of business. I definitely want this to stay up top. Also, more fuel refineries are going to be really important. Let's do it in that order. Let's finish autonomous sensors and then go for low-G hydrosynthesis so that we can build more fuel refineries. And then the drone hub will be after that. And we can go ahead and just start building them outright rather than waiting for prefabs. By that point, we'll maybe be able to order a prefab anyway. But it's good to know that we can work towards that research-wise. Alright, so that scan's almost done. Hopefully that'll turn up something interesting, or maybe it won't. I would love if there were rare metals up in that corner, let me tell you. That would make me a very happy Hadrian. We got a dust storm coming in a day and 5 hours. Yeah, that's the question I was thinking in my head. I was like, wait a minute, how long is a Martian sol? It's 25 Earth hours, so it's not quite the same length, but close. Similar length rotation of the planet Mars. Alright, so Sector I-9 was scanned, and there are some metals on the ground, at least, up there. So that's good. So when you're looking to make sure that you've done everything you can with your rover, you just glance at the various locations. Like there's supposedly metal. Here's that where it is. Yep, that's it. I'm just gonna gather that, and we're gonna drop it off here, just to be done with it. Again, try to keep that guy busy as much as you can. So if there are not heavy metals up here, then our plan has not changed. But if there are some, like in this area, well, I don't know. I don't think... There's definitely some metal here to be harvested. I'll jump on that next, but I think we are going to go with this as our first dome location. Even though, you know, it's going to be a second before we get anything going. So only 40 fuel required, and we're almost done fueling this rocket. So we're about to launch one. Dust storms last anywhere from 1 to 2 full days. Sometimes a little bit longer than 2 days. Hey, whoa, 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 whoa. There are heavy metals up there. Oh, that's fantastic. Holy crap. All right, so... Well, maybe the plan... What do you guys think? We can talk about this a little bit in the comments, because chances are, well, I'm about to record several episodes in a row here, so I won't actually get to incorporate your feedback, but you can still talk about it. Let's see. We can go with that location for the first dome, but this, I mean, we definitely need... No, the first dome needs to be here, because this rare metal deposit we can exploit right away. And we can put a second dome in the area. Oh, that's awesome. That is amazing. Okay, so yeah, change of plan. And this does allow us to get start a little bit closer as well, which is a huge win. So instead, let's see. I would like to put this in a spot where I can expand other domes. I can just bring in other domes to the area, really. There we go. Oh yeah, that's a much better spot. That's actually quite near the location we're going to expand anyway for our next concrete deposit. Good, autonomous sensors is done, which means no more maintenance costs for those, and we do want apartments. So, let's see. I want to make sure that... Yeah. Alright, so apartments is third on the list. We are going to research the fuel refinery so that we can have another one built. And then we're going to research the drone hub. And it looks like we've unlocked low-G turbines. So that'll help us produce more power. But it is officially on now that we've found our first rare metals deposit. That's not a bad start. I'm quite happy with finding rare metals that close. Hasn't happened in the last couple of, higher difficulty locations that I've tried as I was getting ready to jump back into Surviving Mars for the channel. Okay, we are ready to launch one rocket. Go! Away with thee. We could technically buy another rocket right now. We could. They're 3 billion. Right? But I don't think I'm going to worry about that for the time being. I want to see how much funding I get from each technology that I finish. On that note, right now we have 3740. Let's just remember that. Some of you might have already been paying attention and caught it, but I haven't yet. I want to see exactly how much funding I get from each technology. And because I don't think the game tells me, I just think I'm going to have to check. Also, we are not doing so hot on our advanced resources. One advantage of playing as Space Y, both in my previous campaign on YouTube and just in general, because it's something that I've tended to do, is you do get cheaper advanced resources. So the polymers, the electronics, the machine parts, easier to order. Oh, speaking of keeping this guy moving, I think that's going to be the next spot to go to. There's the dust storm. Hang on, we're going to pause. All Alright, we're going to load metals from this area and then bring them back here. And the dust storm has arrived. So I could go ahead and get our concrete production expanded. Let's see, the drone hub is... Oh yeah, I could totally do that. That's doable right now. Let's make that happen. Go to about right there, and I can probably set up an extractor on the spot. Not enough power? Well, we'll see about that. Trying to see, yeah, that would cover. Yeah, that's good. Just want to make sure there's concrete everywhere that the little rollers would need to go. You can call them that. That's pretty good there, too. Ah, there's almost a really nice symmetry there. Kind of tempted to do that, but let's keep it simple. Actually, let's keep it even simpler and just connect them there. Wait a minute, could I even hold that thought? Yeah, we'll just have them connected like so. And now we're going to have some more concrete production. Be a lot easier to get a concrete, just to move stuff around as needed. Speaking of which, we can go ahead and get some depots going. We're definitely going to need an additional dumping site set up here. We'll just do those for now. Well, I can do some on this side as well. Why not? There's that. But also, we can do a concrete depot in roughly the area where we're going to have the next drone hub. And what's the limit on that? Right, actually, right about where I was looking. Good. So, concrete depot is going to be here-ish. Let's change the angle. Perfect. And a universal depot as well. Alright, low G hydrosynthesis has finished, which means we can build our own fuel refinery. We don't have the machine parts for it though. So that's not really in the cards yet, but we'll be doing that soon. That'll allow us to get more fuel and just be done with stuff a little bit faster. Now, water-wise, it looks like we are starting to run short. I guess it's just due to the fact that, yeah, that one, we're going to need to get actual water production going sooner than later. Our first rocket made it back, though, so let's go ahead and order a cargo rocket. All right, 3890, so we made a little over 100 million. Or was it just 100 million? Might have been exactly 100 million. Was it 3790 before? I can't remember what the tenths, or the tens digit was. Let's see. It's been a while since I've looked at a number in that sense. Which digit is this? The ones, the tens, you know what I mean. All right, so we could do another moisture vaporator. That would solve the problem pretty handily. We wouldn't necessarily have to produce more water in another way, as long as we had at least a couple of those. And I think I have the technology available to make them more productive. I might have even researched it already, so I'll have to check. I'll have to take a look at that. We could also get a Stirling generator. Having these, I mean, I haven't messed around with these too much, but it might be worthwhile to look at that as well. Now, a drone hub prefab. I mean, if we're going to go ahead and order one of these, hang on, how close are we to being able to build? No, I just clicked launch. What did I just send it with? A moisture. A moisture. That was completely an accident. That I just, my mouse finger just clicked. I'm gonna own it. We're 25 minutes into an episode, and I mean, we're gonna get a little bit more water production from that, but man, that was a mistake. Oh man. Alright, so... I have to go with it. We've had some good progress otherwise this episode, and I'm not gonna redo it. So, you know what I could do? Actually, hang on. Right now we're in Sol 12. When's the last autosave? Yes, I did. I had a save last night that I saved as ugh. But, yeah. Let's undo that. Alright, good. Yeah, this one's still on its way back. So we've reverted a little bit, but I don't plan to make a habit of that. You know, if other kinds of mistakes happen, but that was just silly. That was a misclick. Not even meaning to do it. So that does allow me to fix that particular issue. So once that rocket has returned, we'll look back at our options again. We didn't lose too much time at all there. That was good. We do need to go ahead and get the concrete production set up again, though. So let's go ahead and get the power cable. Was it about there? Yep. Try and do this quick like. Not enough power. I know. Actually, wait a minute. Quite that close. There we go. I want to make sure that when you're doing this, you're kind of paying mind to the shape of the deposit and knowing that future concrete extractors will be able to go in different locations. This is a big deposit, so just trying to pay attention to it. I could have this one... No, there's no way to have it any closer to where the power line would be shorter, unfortunately. So we'll go with that. There we go. And then let's have the RC rover come over here where it can make its drones a little bit more useful. Building's not working. Which two? Oh, of course. Dust storm has kicked in. That's part of the reason we're running short on water. Well, glad I remembered that too. But we do still need to think in terms of our water production going forward. Alright, we're about 28 minutes into this episode, so yeah, we're low on machine parts too. So we're going to need to... We are probably going to send this rocket straight back with some additional advanced resources. That's most likely going to be our payload and maybe a prefab or two. I will figure that out. I'll tell you what, we'll figure it out at the end of the episode here, but we need to wrap this one up in a minute or so. Won't take too much longer for Ariane 1, our first rocket, to return to Earth. Dust storm's going to last another day and 3 hours. Any other... No more anomalies for the time being. My RC Explorer hasn't had anything to do for a while, sadly. Thank goodness for autosaves. That was embarrassing. Straight up, like, you know, sometimes if you're just doing stuff on your computer and you just click something and your finger just like retains some of that muscle tension somehow and you just click again without even consciously deciding to, that's exactly what happened. I could feel it happening too, like, no, don't! But it's too late. Alright, let's see. Alright, good. Dust storm is... Oh, it's still on, it just got darker. I haven't sent this guy over there yet in this in this timeline. We've done a little bit of time travel here. I'm going to gather some metal, and I want you to unload there. We've got plenty extra, so we're okay. And now we have lots of concrete production. That reminds me, I need to get the depots set up as well. There's the low G hydrosynthesis complete. at least the location of dome number 2 was preserved, right? All right, so that rocket's returned. Let's go ahead and decide on our proper setup here. So let's take another look. Let's not do that a second time. How close are we? We're a ways off. We are more than 2 days from having Drone Hub researched, and then that's going to require a good amount of electronics and a good amount of metals. So maybe having one Drone Hub prefab just shipped to where we can have that just here would be best. And then do I need another moisture vaporator? I think I'm going to go ahead and order one. Beyond that, though, hang on, let me take one more look. I can't recall what I might have already... I believe I already... Dang it. What am I looking at? There we go. Okay, good. I already have all of the factory types. I did that on rocket number 2, which is pretty standard strategy for me, but just wanted to make sure. Didn't want to assume and then be wrong and then have to go back in time again, which I would do off camera. That would just be mean. Let's see. Drone Hub, moisture evaporator, and I don't need any more of those, so let's go back. Probably don't need any more of those for now. More drones would be good, but I want to make sure that... Yeah, we're gonna pile these up for a bit. In particular, let's pile up the polymers and the machine parts and launch. And on that note, I will stop this episode here. In the next one, we're going to weather the rest of this dust storm, this lovely, lovely dust storm. And we're going to most likely get this dome actually built in the next episode and possibly invite our first colonists. So we'll finish talking also about some of the other stuff that's going to go in that dome. I mostly covered the food options and some of the basics that I want to put in place. I will need to have low-G high-rise done by the time colonists arrive, but that shouldn't be an issue, I don't think. There we go. Just making sure it's not an issue. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this one, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to follow along. New episodes are coming out every day at 4 p.m. Eastern Time. Comments are always welcome. Let me know what you think, and I will see you next time.